All right, y'all. We're getting to what we came for. It's Broken Warrior Designs.
That's a cold one.
Yeah, buddy. Ding, ding. I'll do the little snap for you guys.
Thank you.
Oh,
Sounds so good.
I actually got a. Let me see what I wrote down. A question that I actually want to ask you. Do you do these templates? Like, do you set down a template, or you do it off the top of your head?
No,
Everything's off the top of your head. Yeah, and
you freehanding that thing?
He did. He so
freehanded,
I got. Now, hopefully, I got that on video. But when he did ours, he freehanded it, and then he had to account for situations in the wood that was unexpected. Am I right? Like cracks.
Right.
Not well. It was cracks, and there was also knots.
is it different between different kinds of wood as well?
Yeah, every single wood is different.
Okay,
but
so you are dealing with.
Let me
different
back
shit.
up real quick,
No
okay?
problem.
First, I want you to give us an introduction on how long you've been doing tikis, and where you got the concept from, and
Thank you.
yeah, just give
Oh,
us
so
a,
yeah,
just
that
give
was
us a little
another question.
introduction.
Yeah,
on
let
how
me
you do
start
it.
it on
I
that.
got
So,
I got them all in the wrong order. I was
I
fire
liked it. I
off.
liked it. You know what I'm saying? But you know,
Broken Warrior Designs, man. What's a broken warrior? For a lot of years, I was a broken warrior. I'm still a warrior. I'll always be a warrior. Broken as in if you take this glass and I break it and I glue it back together, you're still going to see the cracks. And that's kind of how my artwork is. You still see some cracks in it. I don't even like calling myself an artist. I'm more of a creationist. I like to see something and then make it. And whether it's fixing something at home or trying to do something myself before I contract it out.
SD crafted.
You learn a lot of lessons here. Crafted.
SD crafted.
Crafted.
San Diego crafty.
Yeah. And so I I'm not perfect. My art's not perfect, but I felt I was a broken warrior. Still am. It's like a everyday thing. And I found that getting into this artwork, I get into my own mind where I'm constantly like training myself, telling myself, oh, do that. I'm talking to myself internally, of course. And I found that it was a way that I could escape, but yet at the same time convey, in those faces, sometimes like my anger or my silliness or my hurt. And I just spend that time in the zone, and I get in the zone, and once you start going, man, I'm just going.
So we had this conversation earlier, and from someone who also creates, it's very difficult to really come to the grips with what's in your mind is not going to be what the finished product is.
Right.
But how much of the process actually takes over, because there's therapy in the process.
Yeah. What's the difference between the beginning and the end?
Well, it never turns out like I want.
Like when you first
right?
start off, you're probably like,
I'm always thinking I have like a general idea,
Yeah.
and I will make some marks on it just to try to keep it symmetrical. Like I don't want one eye going
right,
this and one eye that way, and I try to keep them pretty close. I'm not a finished carpenter. Those guys it's amazing art in themselves. I mean, they're so precise and measured, and that's just not me. I want to free flow it. I want to see a design like that turtle, and I came up with that design, and now I've done them so much, I just know them.
But you made turtles out of knots that were in the wood. So he's got on the back of that tiki over there,
right,
on the one that's colored with the red tongue. There's 3 turtles that represent me, my wife, and my daughter.
Right.
And it's crazy.
That's actually was one of my questions.
Yeah. And
eventually was going to be one of my questions.
I didn't give him any. I wanted just what he wanted to create, and then he told me after it was also, Jay, this is amazing, man. He's like, yeah, that's you, Tierra, and Marie.
Right.
And then he said after the fact, oh yeah, those were knots in the wood. I created those turtles out of the knots, which to me it makes it even more amazing because that shit came from the wood.
Well, one of my questions was like, I know that you're a fantastic. I don't even know what carver. I don't know what the. I don't know
carver.
I don't know what the proper.
Yeah, that's a good question.
I don't know what I would call
craftsman.
Craftsman. There you go.
Craftsman.
But do you have any other artistic?
Definitely.
Do you tattoo? Do you draw?
You know, I did tattoo.
Paint? Do you?
Didn't go down too good for Dave's tattoo.
What are artistic?
Did I give you a tattoo?
No, you didn't give me no tattoo. You tried to, but I was
Yeah,
like,
you said I don't want that.
Yeah.
I'll pass
I'm just
on
wondering
that.
what
did
other
tattoo.
artistic,
So,
if you have any.
You know, in Samoan, when I was a little boy, the first thing when they teach you their arts and crafts there, carving drums, the pake.
Yeah, like
right?
real drums.
Yeah, the pake that you use for when they hula dance,
Gotcha.
right? So you learn how to carve those. You carve the boards that they lay the material on to do designs, ink designs.
Right.
So you're kind of making templates out of wood, and they teach you how to carve those. Well, I was able to go through those programs. You know, like when you go to summer school here, that was kind of like one of the summer programs. So the whole time in the military, I've always wanted to carve a tiki, and I just never. I always wanted to put them in my yard and decorate, and then I never had time until I retired. And then once I got in Florida, and I live 2 blocks from the beach, I just started carving in my front yard.
Do you still have the first tiki that you've ever carved before?
No, someone bought it.
Someone
They're
like, you didn't keep it?
They're like, I was at a garage
should've
sale. It was
kept
on the
them all.
side of my house.
That's a
Hey, I'll give you
trophy.
$150 for that. Okay.
Cool.
So
That's what you
Oh,
knew
yeah,
it was
that's
onto
it.
something. That's when it might be onto something. Yeah.
So I was like,
We gotta go find it.
I carved more, and then
We're gonna
people,
go try to
people
find
literally
it.
stopped
How
by my
much?
house.
And if you
That's
don't mind me
like
asking,
that's like a home run. Your first home run you've ever got.
Yeah.
Ball
how
in,
much just like
and you gotta retrieve it.
and
a
this
piece
was
of wood
ugly.
like that costs? A piece of wood.
Let me just
So if you're gonna sell
this
like
is palm.
okay,
This
okay,
is palm,
okay.
which is easy to come by, especially in San Diego or Florida. It's not gonna last you forever.
What's the
So let
shelf
me tell
life?
you, this-
Shelf
What
life
is
on that piece.
what is the
On
you
that.
all throwing like 5
that
questions at me.
cost? I know.
Shelf life on the palm, because we talked about the interlude was we're talking about it's not going to last you long. So what's the shelf life on a palm like that
Okay,
on a tiki?
underneath here, it's gonna last you got 10 years. Underneath here, outside of the weather, you put it directly in the weather where the rain, the sun, you put it in the dirt where the bugs are, you're gonna get like 4 years out of it. Right? And then Florida sun is even a lot harsher than
Yeah, I was going to
What's
say
your
over there in
preferred wood?
Florida.
I guess if that's
Well,
a question.
So he did mine in
You
redwood.
know,
just so
I
you
did
know.
this one, these two in redwood,
Redwood.
and redwood has its own challenges because how it was splitting on us. But it shines up pretty. This stuff don't shine up pretty, so that's why you often see
Palm,
them painted.
redwood.
Palm doesn't shine up well,
Yeah.
but it's light.
Uh-huh.
I mean, we could toss this around. So there's a plus and a minus to both sides. But most of these, I like either staining. I stain them because that makes them look heavier, makes them look darker.
What's your preferred wood though? Like what would you actually like if it was your choice and you wanted to
if
throw
I
out
had the perfect wood
Yes,
that
exactly.
I could use,
That's my
koa wood.
question.
Koa wood,
koa?
yeah.
Koa.
Koa wood because and I haven't had a chance to carve it. One, it's so expensive. Two, is only in Hawaii.
Oh, okay.
And so you got to import that stuff over. But if you ever go to Hawaii and you see the koa wood, and then they have a fake koa wood called monkey wood in the islands. And I would like to use those because it's not super soft and it's not super hard. But you can't use you can use oak, but that oak splits. Oak is super hard, you know.
So how does redwood compare to oak? Because I know this is I'm not sure
Redwood's
it's
a
your
lot
first one.
softer.
Oh, it's
Redwood,
okay.
yeah, redwood was a lot softer. Very easy to work with. It's a good medium to work with. Yeah. So I like it. Now it's kind of nice because when I come back out here, I'm going to try a couple of different things that I'm thinking because I get asked by the restaurants a lot for tikis to hang on the wall. So you got to have that flat backside.
Yeah.
So
Gotta curve.
yeah, so I might be able to get them to mill it, and this place that we found, which I totally believe in their mission. This is what I do in Florida is I reclaim wood that people are throwing away, and that's how I told my wife I'm gonna go art shopping. I go drive around the neighborhoods and I see all these trees that people cut down or whatever, and I've stopped coming home from a nice 5-star dinner before in my tie and everything, getting wood on the
You
side
saw
of the
a nice
road,
chunk of
and
wood.
my wife's
Yeah.
tripping out. But I try to reclaim that stuff. I really don't want to go buy new stuff. This was reclaimed from one of the fires. I think my friend's an environmentalist, and he grabbed a few of them, and this had a lot of black soot on it. I had to, clean off to see if it was even palatable. So I like using all types of stuff. I think that's part of the adventure for me, is to see what I could do, because I don't know what I could. Someone asked me to carve a South Park and Ren and Stimpy and all these things. I said, well, I don't really do that, but I'll try it. I did it.
But you did it, though. I saw that.
Yeah.
Your art is rad, and it's all pretty cool. I'm just wondering, does the colors mean anything ever in any...
Well,
in any part of the art? I'm just wondering.
Traditional, there was no color but the brown and black, right? Because the black comes from a seed that they, and I forget the Samoan name for the seed, but it's a ink that they crush with charcoal and stuff like that. Yeah. Same with how they made the tattoo ink.
With a little pin.
Yeah, and then there might have been red a little bit from some berries or something, but. I don't know. It's kind of transitioned to those happy tikis you're talking about. Kind of gives that Key West vibe to have some color in it. So I find a lot of people are mixed, whether you like it traditional or you like it painted.
That's the question I have for you is the faces. A lot of the faces, they mean different things. They stand for different things. Kind of. Are you partial to one particular type of expression on a tiki? Where you find passionate, you're passionate about carving this particular face. Because a lot of artists are good for the same image. They do different images better than others.
Right.
What do you feel comfortable carving?
Well, I like the tongue because there's different ways you can make the tongue inside the mouth, outside the mouth.
I know. I saw the other one you had. The one was coming way down here. I was like, whoa.
And the kids like that. And I've actually had people, some kids scared of the mean face ones.
Yeah.
And I forget about that. But and then now this is a big thing. I have tiki or totems that have no faces on them. They just have fish or just turtles.
Or
just
pineapples.
That's cool.
Yeah, the turtles.
Or just someone designs.
I think the turtles for me is the turtles from your artwork. They're very. They pop, man.
I love the turtles, man.
Yeah, they pop, man.
Something about those, man, that just kind of just... I can't even explain that.
I kind of have another question. With all these pieces, what kind of tools do you use? Do you just use a chainsaw, or is it... what else do you use?
Another great question.
Skill saw? You got skill saw there?
No, I have a chainsaw with a 10-inch blade, but it's a carver tip, so it's very thin. It's a dime tip is what they call it. And then, so I use steel chainsaws. I have several. I have about 4 of them, depending on how big the cuts are and how big the wood is. But then a lot of the work is done with that grinder, that 4.5-inch grinder with the fiberglass or ceramic pad on it.
You're doing the intricate cuts,
right?
Because it's light.
So I've learned how to use that a couple different ways: how to score it, how to sand it down. It's like a 36 grit that I start with. 36 and 50 is pretty much all you need for these, and that really takes a lot down. Then I have like a die tool.
Say it, bro. Say it. Go ahead. You look like you're ready to fucking fire something off.
Yeah,
go for
a die tool plus a cold one.
Hey, so besides having the passion to do it, where did you get the skills,
inspiration,
the know-how, like, you know what I'm saying? Because
I kind of have the same question. Where did you get the inspiration for this? Maybe kind of is that kind of what you're asking?
Yeah, and then
is there an artist that you follow?
Right.
Is there an artist that you follow that is either in carving
because it's
something else, tattooing, something is?
Well, there's inspiration and there's technical know-how, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So the technical know-how, it's like I'm learning every time I carve. I'm learning something else, and I've just kept learning. And I guess the inspiration comes from my cousin. He's a monumental sculptor, but he just never broke out because he's had some difficulties in life and always setback. But he's the most talented dude that you ever seen. And monumental meaning his first piece that he made
was he was a carver
for $15,000
as well.
Yeah,
he carved
from University of Hawaii.
All right.
Right. So his first piece was a sculpture of him with arms and legs, and each arm and leg were drums, and he didn't sell it. I was like, $15,000 that guy offered you, he didn't sell it, and then he started making big
some
pieces.
artist shit right there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That's what I was telling him about his first piece that he saw.
Yeah.
Did you keep it?
Yeah. I
Even though it was ugly, that's still your
man.
first.
Somebody's willing to give me money for it.
He just told me about a story about one of his favorite pieces that he brought out and it got a lot of action on, and eventually never sold it. and his wife loved it. And
Yeah,
just
so
decided
I'm
that.
keeping some pieces my wife always she looks at
She'll
everything
point 'em out,
before.
but like,
and
no,
she's
that
like,
one's not
let's
going
keep
nowhere.
That one.
Yeah, that one's staying
And
with us.
so there's a few pieces that I have in a couple like my prototypes, I guess, of when I get an idea that I'm starting to save. So I have a few at the house that look really nice. But my other inspiration is my friend Annie, who I taught with when I retired and taught high school. She's the art teacher up there at Adelante High School in Northern Cal, and she is so talented at this. She does charcoal drawings, but with her one piece of charcoal and her paper towel wiping the canvas, she makes pictures like they look like you're taking a photograph.
Yeah,
and it's an unreal talent, and she's a true artist, and I'm artistic, I would say, but that is an artist. Like, I can't replicate that.
Refined. That's refined. That's
refined.
That's perfect example of an inspiration. Though. It doesn't have to be like the same artistic,
Right. Total different genre.
scenery that you have going on. But she obviously taught you some shit that
She does, and she teaches art class, and she takes things down to a micro level.
I remember that.
And she just works small to get bigger, and eventually she has this beautiful portrait.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Do you have a favorite piece that you put together where you looked at it and you were like, you know what, I don't know if I want to let that go. I want to keep that one. That's probably one of my best, work that I've ever done.
His wife has.
Besides your wife. Because you know when you knock it out the park, you look at it and you're just like, wow.
No, not see. Every time I look at something, I want to keep doing something on it. It's like never done to me.
I have to physically. He's true artist.
He was over here.
I get that.
The shit was
Yeah,
done. The reason why I put my shit up on there because he
Get him away from me. He wouldn't leave it alone.
All right, bro.
Like,
It's good. I had to put it up there.
You need to get some covers for those bad boys.
Because I
man,
keep changing. I'm like, oh, I could do this or I could do that.
Good
But
point.
so my
the
wife,
rain, just to preserve them.
yeah, my wife likes this cross I made. I made a full size cross and I carved it and pictures of Jesus and olive branch and stuff like that, and put a scripture on it. And she really loves it. But I donated it to our church.
Nice.
But she wanted that for our Christmas decorations. And
So for a lot of our listeners, they don't understand what the tiki culture is. Obviously, you were driven to that, and that's something that you navigated to, and you're very successful at. I mean, you're very talented, man. I wasn't able to appreciate it until I actually got to see it and get my hands on it.
Yeah,
Even my son,
Derek came over and was like, God.
even my son got an opportunity to help paint a couple of them, which was awesome.
Man. My daughter did the same thing. Yeah. It was an amazing experience. My daughter was sitting there because she was holding this paintbrush, and I think Lil D had the same experience.
Yeah.
Because this tiki that you created looks larger than life.
So alive. It's alive.
It's so alive. So you walk
Looks like
in,
it
you
can
see
talk.
this thing, and it's like you want to get close to it, and then he's like, "Well, we can actually contribute.
Can we
paint on it?"
paint? So,
Yeah.
So
it's nice to see him
Half of their
engaged
piece
too.
too.
Just to see
Right.
someone take interest in something totally different.
Right.
You never know what that'll impact.
So
in their life.
what drove you, to, what does that mean to you? Being able to create these tikis, for
how do you
and
feel
put
about
these in
all
other
this product? What
families.
does that mean to you? Like, so you put all. So we kind of talked a little bit about why you do it and what goes into the process of it. Even though I want to get a little deeper on that, that'd be a different podcast. But then, how does that feel after a finished product? What is that?
You know what? I have no connection usually with the product. It's more of how you react to it, how you like it. If you like it and you are stoked on it, I'm happy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I would tell my customers, if they don't like it, don't take it from me. Someone else will buy it.
Yeah,
I guarantee you.
Make a new one, I guess.
Yeah, and
that's awesome about having a craft like that. Where you can
and I'm not in this. I get money for it because it takes a lot of work and it takes some time. But I'm not relying on this to provide for my family. I'm retired, right? So I have probably a different approach than like a struggling artist who needs it for food. I use this to further my adventure in life, not to.
It's about the experience, and it's about the experience.
And it's helping me
journey,
while I'm doing it. I'm helping myself.
How old were you when you first picked up your first chainsaw for this particular project? Like when you were taking
7
when you wanted
years
to
ago.
7 years ago.
7 years ago. Wow.
Okay, well,
Where I-
cool.
yeah, where I-
your
I mean,
artwork is awesome,
where I
man.
could
So
actually try
you've
it.
come a long way in 7
Yeah,
years.
big difference in 7 years. I look back at some of the pictures of the first carvings to now,
Yeah.
and I'm still
Big
learning,
difference.
just growing.
Yeah, every carving is
Yeah,
is
and
a learning
and I've
experience.
been fortunate to see some other artists, and they'll talk to me about some stuff that they do, and very, very cool. You know, they're not like, oh, you're taking my territory. You know, it was just they were sharing, and everyone was just very appreciative.
So it was just like an art that you picked up after Army. It wasn't something that you did in the Army. You didn't have a chainsaw.
Oh no,
You didn't have a chainsaw in your hand. It wasn't
No.
something that. It was something just to take your mind off. Are we good over it? Anyways, it doesn't matter. It was just something to take your mind off. Just
right?
to
Something to distract me.
project.
And I like holding a chainsaw.
Yeah,
There's something
yeah, yeah,
Just,
yeah.
just like grilling on an outdoor grill.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
There's just something manly about it.
Yeah.
Oh,
Sorry, yo.
Very, very
Did
fucking
it
cool, man.
cut out?
Yeah, I don't know what's going on. It don't matter though. We're good, but I just want to see if we. Yeah, it's probably just battery.
We're at 22 minutes.
Yeah.
already.
So
so
I'm gonna get it back recorded. Okay.
there was one thing. Are we recording?
Yeah, we're recording right now.
It's hot. Yeah.
So there was one thing that I was able to do, and I've done it with a couple vets, and they've asked me about it, like when I've had an art show or something, and I said, hey, look, you wanna carve your own tiki? I'll help you. And so they'll come over and they'll buy the wood or something from me and pay for my time, and we'll go through it. I'll teach them how to do it with the chainsaw and the grinder, and then let them do it.
So now you're sharing the therapy.
So now I'm sharing the therapy, and so that was kind of the original thought process.
That was the drive in the beginning. That was the purpose, right? In the beginning was
Right,
was
it's just kind of unfolded because, I never intended to go out and start selling tikis. I didn't know people.
It was
liked
therapy.
them.
It was originally
Right.
it was therapy.
Originally it was just therapy.
Ever thought about venturing in trade shows? Do you do that at all?
I haven't done any trade. I mean, just art shows. They have a few local art shows on the island that I live at, and I've gone to those. But
Well, trade shows are huge for this kind of demographic.
see, I can't keep. I mean, it's hard for me to carve.
Yeah.
I busted out 6 of them while I've been here,
And they're gone.
Yeah,
You can't
and they're
keep
gone.
up.
No, that's the thing.
and then I
but-
get them at restaurants, and they're gone. And
They're gone.
So I
Can't keep on the shelf.
And so
Yeah.
good work.
before we wrap up, I need to I want to talk a little bit about San Diego urban timber,
Yes.
because this is something I'm gonna talk a little bit more about in the vlog version of this. But when you asked me find wood, and I landed upon San Diego urban timber, they were right there on Bay Boulevard in Chula Vista, and they have an amazing story. We're not going to get into it right now, but it's something that I want to talk about a little more, and we're going to bring them into the fold and talk about what they do. But it's an amazing company, and they provided the wood, for us to do this.
But I had it.
Did you just do
we
one?
would not
Is
have
it
been
is
able.
it that one? Did you just do one?
So,
tiki?
so this was palm that you. Well, where'd you get this? That's a good
Yeah.
question.
No, the palm I got from my environmentalist
buddy,
friend,
IB.
that saved them from the fires, right?
Yeah.
These guys actually, the
My
the one
tikis
in
are
Chula,
redwood.
yeah, the ones in Chula
Yeah,
Vista where
those
we
gonna
got the
last a long
redwood,
time.
we got repurposed wood. It
yeah.
wasn't just like going to Home Depot and getting lumber.
From the local community.
We had wood that was repurposed, and had they not saved that wood, then
You guys probably
we
wouldn't have
get.
any tikis.
But it's not just the redwood; they had Douglas fir. They had
Yeah, they had
every
plethora.
indigenous.
Every piece of wood they had a story. They came from Balboa Park. This came from over
They
there.
knew where
Yeah.
it came from.
But they have indigenous wood
Even
in
better.
California, so it's all local wood.
It's all local wood.
That's what they carry, and
Oh,
that's
I
what
love
this. And they make furniture,
San Diego
and
graphics.
so that's a different type of art.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So it was an amazing connection, and the reason why I bring it up, one is they kind of made my dreams come true, which was to get tikis from Jay crafted here on my property.
You honestly can say if we didn't run into those guys, things probably wouldn't have happened the way it happened. Not the way it went down.
Exactly. So this is an amazing story. We still have 2 more to go. I want to get 4 on that fence, but when you start, I start having a different respect for what it took to make even those 2.
Right.
So now I'm hella grateful. Want to bring Jay back out. Want to do it in a way where the community is understanding what he's providing, and also want to do it in collaboration with San Diego Urban Timber, because they are similar in spirit, right?
Right.
And in the sense that they're not out there. I mean, they may find themselves in the center of an industry that goes global or nationwide or something like that, but they're these are starving artists that have kind of created a situation, and the city of Chula Vista has blessed them to a degree to give them some space for cheap. They turned that into a lumberyard. Like, who does it? I can't believe I was driving down Bay Boulevard and just I literally passed their address because I was
didn't know
amazed
they
at all the
existed.
timber.
Yeah.
I was like, what? And it was like, oh, that must be them. So I had a U-turn, come back around. They had all this timber, and then getting to meet them, you can tell they're artists. They're of the culture. Their property is actually on a historic railroad from Mexico to, I think they're talking Mexico to San Diego, and they want to take a piece of that railroad. And they're already in communication with the city of Chula Vista, build a railroad car on top of it on their property, so when people come to purchase wood or do whatever they're going to do, shop, they get a little piece of Chula Vista, get a little piece of history.
So they're into preserving history. But you gotta say this, you look around, there's not a whole lot of trees around here. I mean, it's getting more cement city in this place. I mean, I remember riding dirt bikes in these canyons and jumping at 8th Street where there's nothing there anymore. It's
River bottom. That's all chopped up. They got
Yeah.
like a little skate park.
And
little
so
bike park
where's
down
all
there
all these
All the trees
materials
got chopped
going?
up.
These guys are saving them, and I just give a shout out to them, because that means a lot to me that
Plus
they're
a
saving
Cohen.
some of that stuff.
Plus a cold one. Let's give a plus a cold one to San Diego.
buddy.
Yes,
Urban
sir.
Timber.
Yes,
Plus a cold one,
sir.
baby.
Plus a cold one.
And with that being said, Jay, love you, man, and we'll be back.
Thanks
and
for coming.
we're going to continue this story because there's a lot to be gained in it. And you know, you a bro from the community, and so we salute you on that. Not to mention your sacrifice, what you've done for our country, your service, and then converting all that to an amazing art form that now I get to put in my backyard and just be
Yes, sir.
look cool.
Right
And
now.
I can, you know, because I just, you know, each one of those has a story, and the beauty of it is it's not just you, my childhood. It's also where the lumber came from, and the cracks in it that you created something special because it cracked. The knots that you created, the turtles, and now we got a turtle for me, my wife, my daughter. So I mean, it's an amazing,
Beautiful thing.
Thing to have in my backyard, and it wouldn't be this backyard would not have been complete without it, man. And so I appreciate you, bro.
Yeah, man.
Appreciate y'all having
Absolutely.
me out here.
Hey,
man.
and where do we order this?
It was an absolute treat, man.
Yeah, so
Hey, I already got one on our back up.
Yeah,
Back
boy.
up, man. Back up.
what we're planning on doing
Get in
is
line.
I'm taking we'll be putting a list together of what type and how much type of work I'll have when I come back out here, and
Can I take this
we
one
can
for
work
you?
that
Can I
through.
take this one for you? Can I
yeah,
take this one for you?
but I want you to please everyone look at my Instagram.
Yeah,
that's what
that's
I
where it's
primarily
at.
use
Yeah.
at Broken Warrior Designs,
There you go.
and see the types of stuff that I do. 'Cause it's much
Get
easier if you have a
familiar with the work.
concept.
Get familiar with the work. Get familiar with the
I don't
artist.
like to be told I want
No.
this, but give me some artistic.
I didn't tell you nothing.
Liability. Yeah, give me some artistic room to.
do what you do.
But like certain color schemes, you know, that kind of thing. Those are good guidance.
Yeah.
But I prefer it having guidance and then allowing the wood to speak to me
It
so
needs
I
to
can
be
make it
authentic.
happen.
It needs to be authentic. And what I will say is that what we're going to be planning on doing, and
Respect
all
the
this
artist.
is kind of like plans in the mix. We're going to most likely start taking pre-orders to get them out here, and we might even do some GoFundMe stuff to get them out here. So what it would probably look like if you pre-order some things. That's going to pay for him to get out here. Once he gets out here, we're going to be working with some people to do some promotional stuff to keep him out here for a period of time, and maybe some auctions, maybe some things like that. But the goal is right now get Jay back out here.
Yes, sir.
Save your wood.
And if you got palms, and he even told me this, if you got palms, save
true.
those. He can carve us up real quick. But the goal is to get him out here 3 times a year, and we're gonna give him special treatment so he'll continue to come back out. And while he's out here, he's gonna do a bunch of amazing things. And I think we have some people out here that's gonna support him with the timber and other things.
And I'll cook for y'all.
No, well, I'm gonna cook for you and everybody else. So we'll take all that.
Can I get in that cooking? I need some of that.
Well, yeah. When I said I'm gonna cook for you, I was talking about you.
I want to cook too.
Hey man, so I think this is the first time we ever gonna close it down. Actually, just the perfect time to close it.
It's our first nighttime gig.
Nighttime gig.
Yeah, it was a beautiful thing, man.
And this is gonna be our first real. As we relaunching Plus a Cold One, this is going to be our first legitimate interview, man. And so I just want to say, appreciate you, bro. And it couldn't have happened a better way for me.
And for your first time, man, you did a phenomenal job, by the way. It was definitely special. Thank you very much. I appreciate your time and your effort and everything you did with those tikis, man. And man, Plus a Cold One.
J Mauga, Broken Warrior Design, Plus a Cold One.
Plus a Cold One. Ding, ding,
ding, ding, ding.
It don't sound the same with the tape on it, but
it's got the little cushion there.
Yeah, we gotta do it though.
No, you have to. You gotta put it on. It
It
doesn't need to be loud. It shows up loud on the camera.
Where'd you get that one at? Where'd you get this?
I just ordered it online somewhere.
Oh, okay.